What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and while we are playing some Save the World dungeons, we are actually going to be talking about the Battle Royale Island and something that's happening behind the scenes that may actually cause us to see some POI changes in a new upcoming update very soon. And this all relates to the recently released Level Up Quest Pack, where you're able to go each week and collect 7 different Level Up Quest tokens in order to unlock some new cosmetics, variants and whatever else, assuming that you buy it in the item shop. However, there was an interesting trend noticed with this whole entire quest pack, and it all relates to where the tokens themselves are placed. So firstly, as you guys already know, week 1 is currently enabled, where you can go over to Slappy Shores and grind on the different grind rails in order to gain yourself some XP tokens, right? It's a very unique system, and it's very, understandable. It's like, hey, we have grind rails over this area, let's go ahead and put you there so that you can go ahead and use that mechanic and gain yourself some level up tokens from it. However, something else that was noticed is that all the other upcoming weeks and all the other locations and stuff, they use grind rails still, right? They all still go around that area, and all the things that they go and do are related to, going on grind rails and grinding different sections of it in order to gain yourself that actual XP, in order to gain yourself the tokens or whatnot, except for the final week. So week 2 is set to be at Shattered Slabs, which is another location that just recently got grind rails, but week 3 is set to be in between Steamy Springs and Kenjutsu Crossing. This area is kind of like that bridge that has the grind rails on it, and has had it there for basically the remainder of this season, right? Basically since the season started, those grind rails have been over there. That is one of the locations that is set to have, level up quest tokens. However, the 4th week only has 1 of the 7 tokens actually prepared in the files, and that is over at the Citadel. Because of all of the previous weeks, relating to grind rails, being in all these specific areas where grind rails are very prevalent, and then week 4 being unfinished and, over here kind of, shoved in a corner where it's like, hey, we have the starting little XP token at the front of the Citadel, but nothing else going on there. It has a lot of people speculating that in the very near future, we're actually going to be seeing Epic Games add the actual grind rails and everything, most likely in the next update or, the final update of the season, whatever else they end up doing, to the Citadel, right? And it definitely would make sense, right? Because Epic Games, kind of has placed these grind rails in one specific area in each corner of the map, so that no matter how the map changes next season, we will see the grind rails in most parts of the map. And, I think it's honestly kind of a change that's needed for the Citadel, because I know some people are like, oh, I don't want the Citadel, just become this place that has all this new features or whatever placed on it or whatnot, because of the fact that, it's related to the Ageless and the lore going on there, which is seemingly gone at this point. But in my opinion, the Citadel, ever since they removed the boss NPC, has kind of been one of those locations that I never want to drop to, right? It just feels like, compared to the other locations on the map, it's one of those locations that I neglect just because I don't really see a purpose of going there. It's like, there's a few chests here and there, there's the whole entire POI banner and whatnot, but it hasn't been one of those interesting points that I would like to go to. However, if you add something like grind rails, it adds a lot more fun and a lot more of a reason to go there because, one, it's the new mechanic, and who doesn't like using the new mechanic to get around the island, but also just because, it kind of allows for this area to seem like it's not just dying like myself in, this whole entire dungeon, which, by the way, I did not realize I went into a 140 dungeon. I thought I was doing the earlier, easier dungeon, so oopsie on my part. But I do think that, Epic Games adding these grind rails to the Citadel, even though it's not like a lore canon type of thing, right, where it's like, oh, the Aegis isn't over here grinding on some rails, hitting the gritty or whatever else, whenever you go over there or anything. I just think that it is a nice welcome change because it allows me to feel like this is an area that I would like to go to more, just because of the fact that it feels like it has more stuff available to me instead of just being kind of, this like desolate nowhere land where it's like, yeah, it exists, yeah, I could go to it, I guess, but there's a lot of other places that are a lot better to go to. And anyways, I am going to just kind of rage real quick. But yeah, in my personal opinion, will we see the grind rails get added to the Citadel? I highly expect it because, especially since the level up quest pack isn't finished, typically those are finished right when they release in the files, right? Even if there's an update afterwards, they're still typically finished right away, and, you can find all the quest tokens and everything through looking at the actual maps or whatnot early. But this time around, this is the only time where we actually have had it where the quest pack's unfinished, and we don't really know what's going on with it, right? We don't know if it's going to be a situation where it's like, oh, they're just going to be like, oopsie, due to an issue or anything in the near future, we'll just be granting you the rewards or anything, right? I highly expect that since there's a theme going on with the whole entire quest pack and everything, the reason why they haven't actually released the tokens for that area is because if they did, it would basically be like, here, we're putting the level up quest tokens on the area where the grind rails will be, before the grind rails are really in the game, right? And you know, it's like if they put it in the game, sure, we would have an idea of where the grind rail pathing would be around the Citadel or whatever, but if they put it in the game now, you might think that they might have made a little bit of an oopsie and also put the grind rails in the game, because personally, I would need the grind rails as a guide to figure out how high or how low to actually put these level up tokens in the area. So yeah, I would love to hear in the comments down below, what do you think about grind rails coming to the Citadel? Are you excited to see that area of the map get a little bit more mobility? Personally, I'm fine with it, right? I think it's kind of funny seeing how basically 3/4 of the map have grind rails all over it. We have the Citadel, Shattered Slabs, Slappy Shores, you know, the whole entire left to the right side of the map, but the top right, where, you know, we have the snow area, hasn't been touched at all, right? The snow area is its own little precious being that is never going to get touched by grind rails or anything. Or who knows, maybe Epic Games is gonna add them one day, you know, just in a future season or whatever. They're like, you know what? The snow area with the one little patch of grass in the top right of it and everything, we're gonna add some grind rails over at, you know, like Brutal Bastion or Lonely Labs or something, you know, just out of nowhere, you know, just unintended or whatnot, just to have a little bit more grind rail mobility on the map. But personally, you know, I'm excited for this change because it means that we're gonna get more mobility in the game in more areas of the map, and it also means that, you know, maybe I'll start dropping to the Citadel every once in a while because it will have an active change going on with it that makes me intrigued to see what's actually happening and what's being modified in order for this area to, you know, function with the new mechanic. And who knows, maybe they could bring the Angels back in the future. You know, you don't even have to give it like the Shockwave Hammer as an actual drop or anything when you defeat them. Just go ahead and make it so it gives you some good loot or something, and people would still go there and defeat the Ageless and probably drop there more just because, you know, some people simp for the Ageless and they want to see that character every single time they play the game. But of course, with that said, my name is FireMonkey. Hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. If you need me, I'm going to play some more Save the World, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.